Kriti on. Hi, Kriti.
Hi, Chad. How are you
Can,
doing?
I'm absolutely fine. And can you hear me properly?
Yes.
Kriti, can
Is
you
my
confirm either of our voices are echoing or? Hello, everyone. And yes, we're getting people on the live session. That's a good thing. It's a good marker. Uh, Thank you, Kriti. So, welcome, everyone. Good evening. I welcome you to the ninth session of Mind at Ease, the awareness series that we are doing on mental health, coping up. Today's session is going to be about stop the stigma or break the stigma. And today we have with us Kriti Sharma. Welcome to the Instagram live session, Kriti.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, I really like the topic that we are going to be discussing today. And before we get into it, I'd like to introduce you to our listeners. Kriti is an MA Psychology, postgraduate diploma in mental health, an MBA HR, and she's a mental health trainer. And most importantly, she is the founder of Sai Within. Uh, She's signed in with her Instagram handle, which is saivithin by Kriti Sharma. And you can log on to it and you can look at what kind of sessions she has been conducting. And she's been conducting a lot of sessions. Uh, Thank you for joining us today, Kriti. I would like to, ask you the first most important thing, when we talk about stigma, what is this stigma attached to? I mean, what is this notion of a stigma? What is this thing?
Yeah. So, stigma is a very interesting term, which we very
Right.
loosely use at times for various reasons. However,
Right.
if we talk about mental health in specific, I
Right.
think firstly we need to understand what health really means. And
Right.
the idea of health, especially in India, is quite different if we compare it with other countries as such. Because,
Right.
for example, the way we are born and the way we grow up, uh, children assume that their health is, the responsibility of their parents. And
Right.
parents assume that they are responsible for the children's health. I think
Right.
that's the starting point of everything. And
Right.
if we broaden the definition of health, like how the World Health Organization has defined it
Right.
includes three realms, which is physical health, mental health, and social health. We
Right.
usually just look at the person, we assume the person is fine. That is only and purely physical health. There
Right.
are
Right.
two more areas which we must assess, and it's just not the absence of a disease, but it's
Right.
the well-being which matters.
Right.
Now, coming further, like if we understand what health is and why, especially in India, we don't take responsibility of our own health. The
Right.
moment something happens to me, I would want to put the responsibility onto others. So first we need to understand
True.
it's completely our responsibility. Then
Right.
comes stigma. Stigma comes when we're not aware of something, when we are fearful of something which is unknown. The moment that
Right.
unknown becomes known, the stigma will not be there.
Right. Right. That
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense, and I really uh, agree with you when you speak about how we, by birth, are generally dependent on our parents, and this dependency is it's generations by generations. I mean, we continue to put this into process where we look that health only relates to the physical health of an individual. That also being taken care of by somebody your senior, and not necessarily your responsibility, and how mental health is such an important thing. And it is not just being, I mean, visibly fit, but it is about the well-being of an individual. uh, Now that you mentioned about stigma being something which is of a mental health, in the context of the mental health, and how something that we do not know about or the unknown creates this confusion and creates this enigma and a stigma around it. Uh, in the current situation, I mean, we have a lot of stigmas attached to if any person has any mental health issues, that itself is a stigma. Being overweight can be a stigma. Being of a certain caste or of a religion or minority or anything, there are so many things attached to our identities which can relate to a stigma. What do you think? Uh,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I can
Um,
hear you.
okay,
Could you hear?
I lost your voice. Can you please repeat your question?
Okay, I put in a lot of words there. I'll just sum it up in a
Just the
sentence.
question.
Where
I heard. Yeah.
yeah, the question is about, so my understanding as well. How do you attach? I mean, when stigma gets attached to mental health, I mean, if you were to define this broadly, how would you define this? How does it get attached to all these things?
All right, all right. Although there was some network issues again, but I understood you're talking about the stigma around mental health in specific.
Right, right,
All right, all right. So firstly, from the professional point of view, if we look into the mental health area, firstly, people don't understand. Okay, mental health is something which is completely different. They don't realize that this is something to do with all of us, irrespective of our age, irrespective of where we're working,
right,
which community we live in. And these are very basic things which people usually don't people just overlook all these things. Now,
right.
if we look into professions,
There seems to be some network issue, Kriti.
yes, yes, I can. uh, All right,
So
just a second.
repeat just what you were saying. I mean,
Yes, I guess now it's better.
yeah,
So, if we look at from the mental health point of view and from the professional front, we understand that people are more happy. The patients are quite happy when they go to a psychiatrist because he is a person who has doctor attached with the name, and
right,
the person would may not rely on somebody who does not have a doctor attached with the name. So this
right,
mentality is prevalent, and we have to deal with it. Also,
right,
from the policy making point of view, we understand that mental health is not covered under insurance as well. And
right,
if you look into from the corporate point of view, there are times when employee well-being is not considered. I'm not talking about the top-notch MNCs and good corporate houses, but usually that is
usually,
the scenario. So, however, if we're talking about a small little firm, probably comprising of 4 to 5 employees, and one
right,
person turns up and he says, "Oh my God, I had an accident. My foot broke. I'm sorry, I can't work." Other people will understand. However,
right,
if he tells that, what, I am feeling really anxious today, I cannot function because I'm mentally not in that space, nobody
right,
will understand. Probably somebody, may just turn up and say, "Hey, come on, let's go for a short break outside and we'll be fine." So
right,
we need to understand that the stigma is attached because of various reasons. However, it is our individual responsibility to break the stigma inside of us, and especially take care of our social convoy. Because if
right,
somebody is in distress, the first person he or she looks up to or tries to share is
right,
amongst people who are around that person. He would not go to a third party and try and discuss
right,
these things, right?
right.
So, as a friend, also, we need to be very responsible as to how we are taking those cues from people around us.
Right, right. So, one more thing I would want to know, so there is something like mental health, and there are mental health issues. Mental health well-being in itself is an important topic and something that individuals should work towards having and be responsible towards it. In case of a mental health issue, and when they are seeking help, uh, the stigma attached around that, I mean, you spoke about the example of a person going and speaking, saying that I'm feeling very anxious today, and probably, I mean, in a good case scenario, the person, his colleague would probably say, let's go out for a break and then, come back. Generally, people would expect you to just put it down and, put it within yourself and start functioning, because that's what you are expected to do. This stigma around reaching out to mental health specialists and professionals, be it a psychologist or a psychiatrist, uh, how can this, this needs a societal change. So what can be done? I mean, how do we break this stigma? How do we break this for the children, for the people coming ahead, and for the people and the society per se right now?
Right. So I would like to divide my answer into 2 to 3 parts. Firstly, when we're talking about
Right,
children,
right,
especially newborn, who have not started going to school, or for that matter, who have just started going to school and are in their, primary age group. Now, there the
right,
responsibility lies with the parents specifically and also the teachers. So, the school
right,
environment should be healthy enough that they're able to see those signs if the child is in distress. And I'm talking
right.
in large. So, there are students, there are children who are coming from a background of domestic violence for that matter.
Could be,
Are the
yeah,
teachers
yeah.
aware of the fact that the child is showing those symptoms and the child is in distress?
Right,
People don't know that generally anxiety and all these things start very very early, and it depends upon how we tackle it at the right time. Why do we wait for the things to go worse, right?
yeah,
So in that, and we have to understand that everybody expresses themselves in different ways, in different manners. If we
right,
expect a child to express himself in words or in profound sentences, that is not possible. But however,
probably,
if we
yeah.
observe the child, how he's playing, how he's drawing, what all expressions he's using, we will be able
Right,
to understand what the child is going through. If we move
right,
on to the teenage age group, as a matter of fact, teenage is a very delicate age in itself. The
right.
personality has begun to mature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is where the developmental psychology also gives us a lot of information as to how the brain is actually growing. So around
Right,
that time the hormonal changes are already there.
right.
However, if we train children before that stage arises, that these
Mm-hmm.
are things which will happen to you,
Mm-hmm.
probably you will feel very very confused in difficult situation, and it's all right, because hormones are playing a
Right,
very big role. However, if if we teach them coping strategies and carving strategies, they will be able to figure out how to cope better. the
right.
the road rage increases especially in teenage age group,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there are
Right,
various things we see around, and the best way is to educate them before an issue arises. Why
correct.
do we wait for the fire to begin and then we dig out the well? Why not
Right,
be prepared before something like that happens? And if you
right.
look into the age group of say college level, things
Mm-hmm.
completely change. And when the college to corporate phase comes, it's a different situation altogether, because the
Right,
transition is huge. The self dependency comes into place. There are
right,
issues of they want to increase their self image and the standard in the society, all these things. And when we
right,
move on to the age where they get married, the relationship
right,
factors come into play. When they are new couples, the situation is different. When they grow old, and let's talk
right,
about senior people as well. What
right,
post retirement, a person goes through a different game altogether. So mental health issues are always there. However,
right,
to break the stigma, as you mentioned, it's the best strategy is to be prepared before it arises. And I
right.
think the best medicine to stigma is awareness. And I'll take a moment to also link it to the coronavirus pandemic, which is happening right now. We
Right,
all knew this is coming to India, but
right, right,
what did we do? We did not create a stigma. We tried to spread awareness.
right.
Everybody was boggled up when they were picking up the call and calling somebody, and the coronavirus caller tune played.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
it was an attempt of awareness. So the moment these things are embedded in us repeatedly,
right.
we consider it normal. We are aware of
Mhm.
it. We are prepared for it. And that is why we are able to manage so far.
Right. But no, I mean, I would like to take it from this where you mentioned about how, the awareness itself allows for an opportunity to remove the stigma to a large extent. Uh, but in this, I mean, despite all the efforts and everything, I keep reading these things about how an individual, when detected positive, going back into their areas, or even the health workers, I mean, who go back home, they are not positive or anything. They've not been tested. I mean, they don't test positive, irrespective of that fear that goes along with that. There's a lot of stigma attached to that, to the patient and to the people who are taking care of these such kind of patients. And secondly, the caregivers, because that is again something that I was reading today only of such incidents where the people who have been giving care to their family members, there is a sense of isolation within the family, within the household. But these caregivers also go through a lot of stigma attached to that by the society and the neighbors. How can we, I mean, because this needs a change psychologically for people as a society. How do we change this?
Absolutely. And there is where that is the point where psychosocial aspect comes into play. On one side,
Right.
there are those people who are not accepting the cured patients back in their routines and
Yeah.
in their society. I
Right.
have heard of incidences where a person is in quarantine, he is not detective positive, but the
Right.
local community people, they completely neglect that person and they're not allowing groceries to be delivered at the footstep,
Right.
at the doorstep. That is very, very
Right.
strange. However,
Right.
on the other extreme, we also look into so many cases where the cured patients are warmly welcomed back in their routine lives. And there are so many
Thank you.
cases where, yes, there are so many other cases where, doctors and all these essential workers are thanked for. And there are
Right.
so many others where, at least on a, an electronic web platform, people are trying to pay their gratitude to
Respect.
all these people.
Gratitude. Yeah.
Yes. So, what is the difference between these two groups of people that we're talking about? Firstly, we need to
Right.
understand that this pandemic is very, very unique. I mean, this is something which has never happened with us ever. Even our
Right.
grandparents have not seen anything like this. And
True.
everybody is behaving differently. Their coping
Right.
mechanism is different. There are people who
Right.
are very, very anxious. There are people who are ignorant. They
Right.
think nothing will happen to me, and they're walking and
Yeah.
jogging and exercising and going out, right? So everybody takes the same situation in a different manner.
Right.
Why? Because their experiences in life and their way of thinking has been different.
Right.
And if we try and understand that what is the difference between these two groups, the people who are able to accept this real situation are much more pragmatic, they're much more rational, they have recovered from that fearful stage. And
Right.
the people who are throwing stones at these people, I mean, I'm sure you also have seen the news, and imagine people have the audacity to do snow pelting on a doctor's body when it is being
Yeah.
carried out in an ambulance. How insane can a person be? I mean, this is the lowest low of humanity if you look into it. But from the
Very
psychological
insensitive.
point of view, it was very insensitive. But from the psychological point of view, we have to understand that these people are fearful. They are not able to understand what is going on. However, if we
Right.
try and educate them in the right manner
Right.
and try and let them process their information in their own way, things
Right.
can get better, if not good. So
Yeah.
I
So
again would reiterate that awareness is the key over here.
yeah, so this sense of an educated individual, education by education I mean a person who's aware, will probably liberate them from the fears attached to the unknown because it's much easier. Now you're into the mode of reacting to how it needs to be handled and what needs to be done about it. Uh, so I mean, so this awareness probably needs to start at a very early age. Also, about the fact where you spoke about how we do not consider mental health as something that has to be our own personal responsibility. And our parents and our society kind of, takes care of that. And so when you spoke about getting married also and everything, there is this dependency on others, that responsibility towards your own self. How can we inculcate this? I know, but unless I know it's a little off track, but I think unless we change that, the stigmas and the awareness will not change. So what would be the age
Unless we change what?
of when you should probably, start inculcating these things?
All right. Uh, it happens from day minus 9 months, I would say. By
Okay.
that I mean when a woman conceives a baby. And
Yeah.
because from the biological angle and from the neuroscience angle, all of these areas, the features amalgamate all these things. The moment
Right,
a woman conceives a baby, the
right,
hormonal interaction and all the biology comes into play. And
right.
whatever she, firstly we need to understand that mental health and physical health is absolutely related. There are
Yeah,
there's a very big stigma that we think mental health is completely separate and physical health is
right,
completely separate. So
right,
it is all to do with the the bridges between mental health and physical health. If you
right,
might have noticed, the moment we get agitated or we get very anxious, our breathing pattern changes. So our
right,
mental health is giving signs through our physical self that okay, mental health needs some attention. That is just a
right,
small little example. Now
right,
coming on to when it should be started by from minus 9 months when the mother conceives. That is
right,
the time when the mother she takes care of nutrition and everything. Yes, of course, but
right,
good thoughts and positive affirmations
right,
mentally if she's fit or not, all these things have shown in the researches that it does impact the baby's overall health. And then
right,
after the baby is born, there are
right,
cases of postpartum depression which we've seen very
right,
commonly, and this is
right,
something which is not spoken about. If we talk from the child's perspective,
right,
it happens that the mother is not able to accept the child because she thinks, oh my god, what just happened, this is a very big transition I was not prepared for. But
right,
if she's already prepared, she will
yeah,
be able to give exact right amount of attention to the kid,
right,
and the kid's well-being will definitely become better. And if the mother is not prepared and postpartum depression or some other issues come into play, the child
right,
may not get that right so, form of love and affection and stroking which the baby needs, and it
right,
may result in issues later in life. When the child is growing, there are cases of separation anxiety which happens between both parents and the children.
right,
Now,
right.
these are very small little things, but from the child's perspective, I'm talking about
Right,
that the child
humongous.
thinks, okay, I'm always dependent on my mother,
Yeah,
and then when the child grows, and probably we at times think that, okay, this child is just sharing this small little things, it's okay, doesn't matter. But we need
right,
to understand if we don't have a listening ear for those small
right,
little things, when that small little child is speaking to us, we need to understand it is small for us, but it's huge for the kid.
right.
And if we are not listening to the kid at that time, when he grows up, he will not share big things with you.
Yeah,
And
so I
that
think,
is
yeah,
how it
totally
starts.
agree that the child picks up from the, I mean, irrespective of whatever be the age of the child, they pick up from the body language and from the mother and their surroundings. I'm sorry, I think you had something to complete there. You wanted to
Yes, I was just trying to say that it starts very early. Yes, however, if we are providing the right sort of environment, these things can change later in life, because we can't go behind, reverse our age and undo things, certain things. So
right,
I would also like to add that when we grow up, and if we
right,
have any childhood traumas, they can be recovered. But we need to again educate ourselves and people
right.
aware that these are solvable issues. Yeah.
So, one thing that I would just, like to speak to you, I mean, ask you about is how can one, as an individual, how can you disassociate yourself from the stigma attached to, any kind of mental health issue or any kind of trauma or anything that leads to a stigma to yourself? How do you disassociate yourself, and how can the people around the individual, what can they do to make it easier for the stigma to be released?
Right. So, when we talk about mental health in specific,
Right.
main issue arises when we are not able to understand when is the right time to take an action.
Correct.
And even from the caretaker's point of view, they don't understand what is going inside somebody's head. And
Right.
also, we need to understand that the number of words we speak outside to the external world,
Right.
into 100 times we speak inside our heads.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, yeah, because the other person might not know what is going inside my head until unless I don't express it through action or
Right.
facial expression or verbal or non-verbal actions. So I personally think, firstly, it should be our own responsibility. But if the
Right.
person is not able to handle the situation, then the people around that person must keep a very close, observation eye to assess what the lifestyle changes are happening with the
Right.
person.
Right.
So uh, there are many times when, even clients, they call and they ask for counseling and everything, but then suddenly the next day they seem to be fine because they've probably watched some random motivational videos online.
Right.
They do help, but they cannot
Right.
help in the long run. We need to
Right.
understand that we are all unique because we have different sort of experiences in life, and we all
Right.
have different coping mechanisms. Our lives are
Right.
different, even in the same family. All
Right.
individuals react differently, they respond differently, their coping mechanisms are different. So
Right.
if you're trying to understand that, you know as from the caretaker's point of view, let us understand how people around us are changing their own patterns, the behavioral patterns, the thought processes.
Right.
Are they equally engaged in their routine work or not? These are small little signs, but if we are
Right.
very observant, we will be able to understand who needs help. And it's completely normal to take help at the right time. Start doing that at the right time, because why wait for things to go bad? Because as I
Right.
mentioned, mental health and physical health are related. It will get converted into your first your headaches, and then probably your backaches or muscle cramps and all these things, diabetes, thyroid, even there are so many issues which arise from these basic mental health. It's one of the reason, however, it's not the only reason. So yes, that's something from the caretaker's point of view.
Um, Thank you so much. I mean, that was that. I'm sure that the listeners would have a lot of response to this, and I would look forward to their feedback and if any questions that they would have. I'm sure that we can continue this, topic, and we can discuss it much further. But I think, in a nutshell, if you were to give out a summary of, what people should do and what is the situation, if you could just summarize it for them.
Yeah. So I would summarize it in a way that how we take care of our diet, what we eat.
Right.
We
Right.
try and maintain a balanced diet for ourselves, and we're very careful of not to eat something which is rotten. In the same way, we
Right.
should do that with our mental diet. And because we must take the right things in the right amount so that our well-being is taken care of, especially
Right.
during this time. It is of utmost importance because we are living, in a physically isolated manner. So
Right.
please take care of your overall well-being. As a side note, I would also like to add that there are 4 pillars to our wellness. First is the physical wellness, second is the mental wellness, third is the
Right.
social wellness, and fourth being the spiritual wellness. Let's take
Right.
care of all these pillars so that we're
Right.
able to cope with the situation in the best manner. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much. Those four pillars kind of make a complete human being, and addressing all those and keeping all well-being of all these pillars, be it the mental, physical, spiritual, or the social, uh, will make a more well-rounded individual who can be a contribution to the others as well, and make us more aware of ourselves. I'd like to thank Preeti again here, who's the initiator and the reason why we are having these, awareness series. And I would like to thank you personally from my end. My name is Akshat Sinha. I even forgot to mention. Uh, and you very much for joining us, Kriti, and I'm sure that sometime in the future we'll have some more sessions because mental health is a very important topic to be addressed. So,
Absolutely. And thank you so much to you, Akshat. And thank you so much, Preeti. She is such a beautiful person. I have to give a big shout out to her. And congratulations to both of you for coming up with such a beautiful idea.
yeah, and I think somebody is requesting if I should mention your name. So, Kriti Sharma,
Yeah,
thank you
it is
very much.
Preeti, K-I-R-T-I.
Kriti Sharma, and you can find her on Instagram, Sai Within, so PSYWITHIN underscore by Kriti Sharma.
Preeti. It is K-I-R-T-I.
Oh,
That's
sorry,
all.
my apologies. I'm saying it incorrectly. It's Kirti Sharma. I'm so sorry.
Right.
Sai
That's all
Within
right.
underscore by Kirti Sharma. And please find her and follow her. And keep following us. You can look us up on Facebook and follow us on Instagram as well for our future sessions. Thank you very much. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye-bye.